QCC.com. Think of it like the Zoominfo of China, launched in 2014. Zong was part of the four-person founding team. He joined in 2016 when the company was doing $3 million a year in revenue. The company hit 60 million in 2020, 80 million in 2021, 100 million in 2022. Zong said, I want to grow this thing fast. The other founders are like, man, we really like our $20 million of profits last year. There was a bit of a difference. He left. He's now deciding what his next move is going to be. We will see what he does. Hey, folks, my guest today is Zong Peng. After 14 years in the US, he moved to China in 2017. He's an early investor and former CEO of QCC.com, the leading direct-to-user B2B data intelligence tool in China with 100 million plus registered users and 80 million in ARR in 2021. He loves SaaS, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data-driven businesses. He's also solo motorbiked across Vietnam in 28 days and a Columbia alum. Zong, you ready to take us to the top?
Thank you very much for the introduction. Let's begin.
You bet. So just to be clear, are you the founder of QCC? I know it sounds like you left last year, but were you the founder?
Well, I joined pre-A, yeah, and I was an early investor. I know the founder very well, and strictly not a founder, but very, very early stage.
So what year did you join the company, and what year was the company launched?
Company launch was in 2014, and I joined in 2016.
Okay, 2014, got it. And walk me through that relationship. So you were an angel investor in 2014 or 2015, and then the founder brought you in as CEO?
Well, I was in the US back then, and then we found this company, and we could have been an early investor, but we got in on the pre-A round.
Okay, got it. So you came in before the Series A round as an investor.
Yes.
So what was the round size in 2014 or 2015 that the founder raised?
$5 million.
And you were part of the 5 million?
Yes.
Okay. So how does somebody go from part of a pre-Series A round of 5 million, an investor, to becoming the CEO? What happened there?
I was when I was at S&P Capital IQ, and I had always been a very student of the market of the data company, right? And I had a lot of friends in China that back when I was at Columbia, the story when some days a person called me, hey, would you like to be the CEO of this company? Would you like to look at this company? And QCC was a company that came onto our screen, and I look at it. The business model is very much similar like Capital IQ or Zoominfo or.
So were you at Cap IQ?
I was at a Cap IQ.
Were you the founder or leadership team, or what was your role there?
No, I was not a founder or leadership team. I joined very much later.
Yep. Okay, so you were on the leadership team at Cap IQ. You were also an early investor at QCC. You joined QCC full time in 2016. Now, how much revenue was the company doing when you joined? Do you remember?
$3 million.
It was a baby.
It was very much a baby.
Okay, so 3 million in 2016, and we skipped over sort of the product. You've mentioned Zoominfo, Cap IQ, but tell us real quick, what are customers paying you for today? Is it still sort of data intelligence?
Very much data intelligence.
Okay, so we can think of it like the Zoominfo of Asia. Is that fair?
It is fair, but Zoominfo, you know it. They do enterprise sales. They have a lot of enterprise sales teams that push the product. But our product is pushed to customers directly via app stores and via a lot of direct channels.
Okay, so you're bottoms up. You're saying you're bottoms up, and individual employees are paying for you versus top down. You're not selling to the CRO.
We're not selling to the CRO. Well, we at the beginning we were selling to the CRO and the CIOs, but that was not sustainable. Because in China, if you do a top-down approach, the sales cycle is very, very long. It takes months. Like in US, it takes it takes months or half a year to get the sale done.
Yep.
Our product was pushed through the app stores, Apple App Store, Android App Store, directly to the consumers. All they have to pay is 360 RMB, not dollars. You could divide that. It's very, very cheap.
What is that? I need to do the conversion real quick. Hold on. $52. $52 a year.
$52 a year.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. And so if you're a consumer in China and you open up the Apple App Store or the Android App Store and you find QCC, what's the headline, right? What does it say? What's going to make me want to download it?
Check up companies, look up, your bosses, or
I see.
Check out your employers. That's the catch.
Yep. So
if you want to get hired, you want to go look for a sales lead, you want that's a kind of catch.
Yeah. So how many downloads do all the apps have today combined across Apple, Android, and other app stores?
The last time I checked, it's 3 billion.
3 billion with a B?
Yes.
Billion or million?
Billion.
You have 3 billion app downloads across all the app stores?
Well, there's duplicative, right? But overall, there's millions of. There's a lot of repeated downloads, but overall, there's more than 300 million people who have downloaded the app, non-duplicated.
Okay. 300 million unique downloads of the application. And then how do you measure how many of those 300 million are active in the last 30 days?
Well, we measure DAU and MAU, right?
Yep.
Anybody who has opened up the app in the past week or the past month, that's MAU. But daily user, that's very standard metrics.
Yep. So what is your MAU past 30 days?
50 million.
60 million.
50 million.
Oh, 50.
50.
50 million. Okay, what is that? That's almost, it's almost 20%, right? 20% of your total downloads are active every month. That's pretty good. How do you drive that kind of activation rate?
Well, the activation rate is that has to go back to the history. If you know Zoominfo, Capital IQ, or other B2B companies like the one that you founded, right? It's very much B2B. You had to drive it through sales channels, through basically sell people. But with China, it's very different because back in 2016, when our company was founded, Apple was the only channel where you could market it. But in 2017 and 2018, Android fluctuated because a lot of mobile phone makers started using Android systems. That's when they established the Android app stores. That's when we had the opportunity. Originally, it was just the Apple App Store, but after that, Android fluctuated. That's when we actually really drove adoption really through different channels.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, now you told me in the bio revenue, but I don't want to bury the lead here. I'll let you share with the audience. So what did you guys finish with in 2022 in terms of ARR?
100 million.
Okay. And in the bio you said 80 million. So did it increase?
That was 2021.
Oh, okay. Got it. So you added 20 million of new ARR over the past 12 months.
That's right.
What drove most of that growth? Organic channels, paid? Where'd you get it?
Organic channels.
Organic. Wow. Okay. And then take us back one more year. What was ARR in 2020?
2020 was 6 million.
60?
60. Yeah.
60 million. Okay. And then I guess this begs the question. You said in your bio that you left. It sounds like this thing is a rocket ship. Why'd you leave?
That's a long story. We couldn't finish in 15 minutes.
Okay. Did you bootstrap the company or did you guys raise a bunch of capital?
We didn't raise a bunch of capital. We only raised probably a couple $1 million and bootstrapped it for a very, very, very long time.
Mm-hmm. And then what?
Well, then they just skyrocketed.
Well, my audience is going to be going, okay, but then why did he leave? So did other investors come in? Did a private equity firm take it over? What happened?
Oh, that's another conversation. Well, with China, you had to understand this is how should I begin? The US, I think a lot of founders would, treat capital very kindly or want to bring it to the IPO market. But in China, you had to understand, if you understand the regime that are currently going on, I'm saying something that's probably going to get censored, which is okay.
That's okay. Everyone in the US will hear it. So go ahead.
That's okay. A lot of founders in China grew up under a very different regime. Their mentality is that let me grow it and let me take control of it. The investors are just, capital money. They're debt. They're not equity. So, it's fine to hit. It's fine to take control over the company.
So the government effectively took over control of the company.
It's not the government, but if you are a founder, if you have a very profitable company, what would you do?
Keep all the money.
That's right.
But you can't keep the money if you leave the company, and you left the company.
Well, it's just a philosophical challenge.
Did you give
Do
up
I?
did someone force you to give up all your equity?
No.
So you still own who's running the company today?
One of the founders.
Okay. How many founders were there?
Three.
There's
I was.
three. Okay.
We were four founding team, and I was one of them,
Yep.
and an early investor, and just because of disagreement with how we would run the company, and that's why I left.
What, you wanted to pull profits out and they wanted to keep profits in?
That's not exactly right. I would like to see because we have a lot of competition. When Zoominfo was founded, it's probably back in 2007, right? You know the founder.
Well, I don't know the Zoominfo founder. I know Henry Schuck, who is the founder of Discover.org, which acquired Zoominfo.
That's right. We had a lot of competition, and that's a question you ask a founder when you are faced with very intense competition. Do you raise money and compete, or you know that you're very profitable, and do you keep the money? That's a very, very, very realistic question.
Oh, I see. So do you believe QCC is about to announce a major fundraise because they're going to want to go spend money and compete versus you wanted to sort of stay under the radar and be profitable?
Never.
You didn't. That's not accurate. You didn't want that.
Well, I wanted the company at least to raise another round of money to compete effectively, and it was profitable. And I made we launched a very profitable advertising campaign across social media and other media channels that actually brought a lot of money in. But one of our founders didn't want to do any of these.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you wanted to be aggressive and grow faster, and the other founders were like, "Don't spend so much money. We like our profits." I see. Now it all makes sense. Okay. How much revenue, how much profits did the company have last year on 100 million of revenue?
20% net margin.
Oh, I mean, that's pretty darn good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. And how many paying customers does the company have today?
More than 1 million.
More than 1 million. Okay. So of the 50 million MAUs, only about 2% of them actually pay. Is that right?
It's very much like gaming companies. If you play any games, that's the subscriber ratio that you get.
Yep. I mean, look, when you look at other B2B SaaS companies, I mean, you aren't B2B though. You're sort of like B2C, but you're going bottoms up. Do you see a path leading up to a 5% conversion rate from free to paid? That would be sort of world class for this sort of, comparable business model.
Very much so. If you do a lot of improvement on your product, getting into a 5% conversion rate is very achievable.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Got it.
Especially when you have so many users, right?
Yep. Yeah. You've got 1 million customers paying about $10 a year, which is $100 million a year in revenue, right? That's different than the $52 a year you told me earlier.
Well, our subscription rate is 360 RMB. If you divide it by 7, that's $50 a year.
Correct. Yeah, $50 per year. You just said you had 1 million paying customers, right?
Yes.
Got it. So there's 50.
You multiply that by 6 or 7. That's 100 million ARR. Roughly,
yeah,
right?
I see what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, do you have 1 million customers paying $50 a year, or you could have 2 million customers paying $50 a year? That's what will get you to a $100 million run rate. Do you have only one price point, which is $50 per year, or do you have other more expensive price points?
There are other tier pricing. It's very much a freemium model, right?
I see.
The reason why we have 2% conversion rate is mostly the app is free. Yep. We do have 1-year subscription, 2-year subscription, and 3-year subscription, and all that it's just tier pricing.
Yep. Yep.
The
Interesting.
1 year subscription is 360 RMB per year, and 2 year subscription rate has a discount.
Yep. Yep. Very interesting. Did Henry Schuck ever try and buy the company?
I never got a call from him.
All right.
Well, I did talk to well, we're never intended to sell because it's a very unique company.
Yeah, no, I agree. It sounds like it's on a very unique. What do you guys think you'll finish with? I know you're not involved anymore, but what do you think 2023? What do you finish with in terms of ARR?
Well, that depends on whether the economy opens up or not.
Yeah, that's fair. What are you going to do next?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Keep on doing things in AI and machine learning and data company space, and keep on looking at other interesting SaaS and data companies. The companies we've been looking at were including Snowflake, Zoominfo, CrowdStrike, a lot of very interesting SaaS companies that in the US I found it just very different from China.
Yeah, no, I agree. And how many before we wrap up here, Zong, how many folks are full time at QCC today?
200 people.
200. Wow, that's really good revenue per employee as well.
Very much so.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, let's wrap up here with the famous five. Number one, what's your favorite book?
Favorite book?
Or the last one you read?
Well, I have to say Three Body Problem.
Three Body Problem?
You probably have read it by Liu Cixin. It's a site.
I haven't. I'll read it though. That's great. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Recently, Elon Musk. I know it's a cliche.
Number three, what's your favorite online tool, your business online tool?
Business online tool. What do you mean?
So like Slack, Trello, Figma.
Well, the one that I used the most is Wind.
How do you spell it?
Wind. Wind. It's the Bloomberg of China.
Ah, very cool. Okay. Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
6 hours.
And what's your situation, Zong? Married, single, kids?
Single.
Okay, not married, no kids. And how old are you?
Below 40.
Below. That's interesting. Most people say older than X. You say below 40. All right. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Not be so kind. Be more gracious.
Don't be so kind.
That's another different the conversation. Be more gracious.
I love that, guys. QCC.com. Think of it like the Zoominfo of China. Launched in 2014. Zong was part of the four-person founding team. He joined in 2016 when the company was doing $3 million a year in revenue. The company hit 60 million in 2020, 80 million in 2021, 100 million in 2022. Zong said, "I want to grow this thing fast." The other founders were like, "Man, we really like our $20 million of profits last year." There was a bit of a difference. He left. He's now deciding what his next move is going to be. We will see what he does. Zong, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, three hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.